1-year review of the Evolution Power Tools chop saw here. This is the S355 MCS model. The unit is absolutely ideal for making these kind of cuts. Good for handrail and whatnot, helps you put things together really fast, and the saw itself is fairly inexpensive. I kind of had a rough ride with this saw because the first one I got was a defect and it took a long time to get a warranty swap. But something was wrong in here that caused the blade to wobble as it was cutting, and gotta remember to put this back on. Anyways, it threw teeth everywhere, kind of like this, and we'll get into it later, but like that, but far worse. It would just clean all the teeth off the blade as soon as you fired it up. You could make just a couple of cuts and it would clean every tooth off. So I got that swapped out, and this one's been treating me good for about a year, and I have really pushed the limit on what you can cut with it. Like this. This is a 5-inch Schedule 40 pipe. You have to turn that once to get through it. I probably have even cut stuff like this on it, which is really aggressive and over what it's rated for. However, it does it great as long as you use a Diablo blade. They last a lot longer than the Evolution blades. I've gotten hundreds of cuts out of these things. I think I lost count at like 450 once. Absolutely would recommend the Diablo blade. They're cheaper, they last way longer. These stainless blades are a definite no-go. They're only rated for 304 officially, no 304L. So 302, 303, and 304. However, it doesn't matter. If you cut just 304, the blade blows up. Cut 304L, the blade blows up. On my new saw, blade blows up. Teeth everywhere, it's hazardous. The little carbide chunkies, like that one right there, they just start flying out. And I only made a couple of cuts on this thing, and they were hitting me. They were hitting the floor, they were hitting the wall. And a side note on that, this saw is a face shield recommended tool. The chip edge usually goes out the back, but these blades lose teeth. The end. Even this good one right here that's working fine, you're gonna lose a tooth. Nice even steady pressure at the beginning helps out a lot. You can get a lot of cuts out of them, and if you replace the blade when it starts cutting crooked, it's gonna be a lot safer. However, you're gonna lose teeth. I made this hopefully not in yourself, that's why you've got the face shield, but you're gonna lose blade teeth for sure. I made this thing to help hold the material flat, and it's been excellent. What it's really good for, again, is these miter cuts. Stuff like this is better off in a nice bandsaw. However, you can do it if you really try. I really don't recommend trying it officially, obviously, as it's kind of hazardous, and if you are going to push it, you really want to get the Diablo blades. But it's been a good saw. I think I want to make a custom table for it that's kind of like the one that Evolution sells, but maybe a little more premium. And the cut clip in this video is in real time. That is how fast it cuts, and that is on 1/8" 2x2, or I guess 11 gauge officially. And that's really where this thing is ideal. That's where it shines. That's what it's made for. So after a year, I think I would recommend it. The really high-end version, you know, a true cold saw, is really expensive, and this is really affordable for what it does. You're gonna go through blades a lot faster, they're not gonna be worth sharpening, and they're gonna throw teeth off, so you're gonna want to wear that face shield. However, I think I'd recommend it. If I hadn't gotten the first one as a failure out of the box, I think I would absolutely recommend it. I'm sure that I was kind of a one-off for that. I did hear of some other people having challenges too when I posted about it. If you don't clamp the material down, you might lose an arm. It really will take off on you. You have to clamp it down. And the other thing to note is I've heard of people upgrading the fences on these, and I know why now after a year. They are not the same. There's a gap right there. And every time you make a cut, this clamp pushes it and that one doesn't, and it pinches the blade. And when I got it, these were perfectly straight. However, just because of being cast aluminum, I guess, they warp and they come out of alignment, and it pinches the blade on every cut. So I need to upgrade these to some, you know, heavy angle iron or something. But I think I'd recommend it. It's been really good this one has. The first one was just so terrible that it kind of prevents me from giving it a full recommendation, but this one's really ripped. It's cut a lot of material for me, and a lot of times it just ends up being the main saw in the shop because it's just that fast. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on this tool after a year of using it almost daily in the shop. It's a pretty good tool. It's a pretty cheap tool. So there you have it.